My appreciation for the land started when I was little, flying with my granddad and seeing all the things you see, the animals and just the land. My stewardship came from them, starting all the way back with my great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my father.
Wes Carlton enjoys spending time surveying his property. At least once a day, he tries to get out and inspect the land from the air and get the big picture. While Wes does have many ways to move about, horseback, pickup, even gator, his favorite and perhaps most effective mode is his grandfather's 1956 Piper Super Cub.
The airplane's probably the best tool, management tool we have. I can check water troughs, water structures, cattle, fences. Basically, you can check all the BMPs that we do from the air. I can do it quicker, faster, and cheaper than you can in a pickup truck.
Wes and his sister Mary Ann CRUSE, both sixth-generation Florida cattle ranchers, own and operate Bull Hammock Ranch. Located between Lake Okeechobee and the Indian River, Bull Hammock is a 7,500-acre cow-calf operation. While the property today is a beautiful mosaic of pastures, flatwoods, and restored wetlands, Wes is constantly working to improve the ranch. The Carlton family has been a part of Florida's history since 1833. After originally settling along the Peace River, the Carltons migrated east to Fort Pierce around 1874. In 1947, they acquired a large portion of flat woodlands on the northeastern side of Lake Okeechobee for growing citrus and raising beef cattle. Prior to that time, this piece of property was largely wetlands. But in the 1940s, in an attempt to control flooding from Lake Okeechobee, the Army Corps of Engineers constructed canals in the northern Everglades.
Something had to be done, and something was. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was assigned the mission of planning and designing a complete project for flood control throughout the district. Then
the canals helped to drain the region, delivering water to newly developed urban areas and leaving behind a fertile landscape. It was here that Reuben Wright Carlton, Wes and Mary Ann's grandfather, would set the foundation for what would become Bull Hammock Ranch.
My grandfather worked extremely hard building this just from scratch. The first time he came to our place at Bull Hammock, it was nothing but just myrtles and willows, and it took many hours and decades to really get it, to a manageable operation. And my dad was the same way.
For over 70 years, the Carlton family built up their citrus and cattle operation at Bull Hammock. In the mid-1990s, however, citrus canker began to affect their groves. When greening eventually hit the trees, the Carltons were forced to close the citrus operation, abandoning their last grove in 2015. While cattle were allowed to graze in the old groves, the Carltons knew more could be done with the land. Working together with the South Florida Water Management District, Wes Carlton began participating in an innovative water farming pilot project that utilized abandoned citrus groves to reduce the amount of water flowing into nearby watersheds. Running along the northern border of Bull Hammock Ranch, the C-23 canal flows eastward towards the St. Lucie River and beyond to the Indian River. Canals like the C-23 were designed to control the flow of water into and around Lake Okeechobee. During the wet seasons, however, heavy rainfall can overwhelm the system, leading to potential flooding. The water would also carry large amounts of phosphorus and other unwanted nutrients downstream, threatening the lake and surrounding estuaries. Through a system of culverts, the ranch can divert excess water from the adjacent C-23 canal and channel it into the remnants of an old citrus grove. The system was engineered to hold the water in what is now a 1,622-acre reservoir, where the nutrients would be absorbed into the ground or taken up by vegetation.
With the water farming pilot project, he can take his dirty water in from the C-23 canal run it through the reservoir and the marsh downstream, and it'll pull those nutrients or bind them in the vegetation that's there. And then he can discharge cleaner water back to the primary system. And that was kind of the beginning of the water storage on ranch lands process that we're in now.
Storing water on the property is nothing new for the CARLTONs. For years, Bull Hammock Ranch has retained water by using water-controlled structures as part of a conservation plan developed by the Natural Resources Conservation Service. These structures have enabled Wes to hold water during the dry seasons for longer periods of time. In 2011, Wes CARLTON reached out to the South Florida Water Management District and the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services in an attempt to store water and rehydrate a 2,000-acre wooded area. By capturing and holding rainwater using a series of water lines and troughs during the wet seasons, Wes was able to restore wetlands on the ranch to their native state while providing fresh drinking water to his cattle. This improved water quality and enhanced habitats that allow wildlife to flourish, giving a home to migratory and endangered birds, deer, turkey, and other animals.
Wes CARLTON is one of the most innovative water managers on any ranch that I have ever been on.
54 minutes.
Yep, looks good. He is able to manage every drop of water that falls on his ranch. He is constantly looking for programs and ideas to help him maximize water storage on his property and water movement on his property so he can keep it on there as long as he can.
Well, obviously his willing participation in our dispersed water management program to us is a critical thing, and it's just kind of an example of the way Wes treats his property and his look towards the environment. So we actually ended up with a far more robust program there on his ranch.
To maximize the use of the land, the ranch has implemented a series of best management practices that extend beyond water storage. Controlled burns help native vegetation regenerate. Soil testing and analysis helps Wes determine mineral and fertilizer needs. Rotational grazing in the flatwoods and former citrus groves allows forage in the pastures to rest and reseed.
If you do not take care of this land that has been given to us, that has been entrusted to us to take care of, then we can't fully take care of the cattle that we're trying to raise and do the business that we are trying to do. You have to take care of both. You cannot just take care of one or the other.
The CARLTONs are committed to keeping Bull Hammock Ranch a family-run operation. Son Wyatt, the 7th generation of CARLTONs, is very active on the ranch, learning the trade from his father. Daughter Colby spends her summers away from school helping out with the cattle drives and cattle shipping.
I feel that it takes the family to run it. That's just what it takes. You've got to have your family involved. Everybody has to have an iron in the fire, so to speak.
We wear many hats. There's not really job titles in our world, but right now I manage the office along with his wife Tracy. When we're shipping cattle, I do all the weighing to make sure all of our weights are right for our trucks and make sure that all of that, works out for our shipping schedules.
Not all of us are good at everything that encounters being able to run this operation. So, you know, my dad has the brains, my brother, he's pretty much good at everything, but we all think of things differently. I'm the medical guru like my mom. I like things medical.
I do have a degree in animal science along with a veterinary tech degree. We're there if Wes calls all of a sudden and we're needed to get on a horse. We need to come help at the cow pens. We need to go pick up vaccine. We need to come pick up some sick calves and take care of those and bring them back to the house.
I've been working at Bull Hammock for probably ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. Well, basically since I've been in a diaper. Dad always toted me around when I was small. I see a lot of my father and myself. I'm learning to fly right now, and my dad's taught me a lot, you know, just flying around as a kid. You know, I've always been with him, flying in the airplane in the afternoons, mornings, whenever we had spare time.
It reminds me of my granddad and my father flying with me. Just the flying thing for us is also kind of like the cattle ranching. It's a tradition or a heritage. What I see when I look across our property is generations of blood, sweat, and tears to make it what it is today.